Investigations are underway into the weekend murder of an Israeli woman at her home while her children were inside their house in the Na'aleh community in the West Bank. Her husband, policeman Amir Raz, has confessed to the killing. Diana Raz is one of 19 women murdered in Israel, allegedly by their spouses or relatives since the beginning of 2020. Now, some of these women had begged for welfare assistance and police intervention. Some were murdered in front of their young children, and one was pregnant at the time. They range in age from 21 to 73. The latest murder renewing calls for increased action against perpetrators of domestic abuse and violence. So for more insight, we now welcome psychologist Dr. Kamila Forkosh Lavan, and she's joining us from Jerusalem. Doctor, thank you so much for your time today. And such a horrific and devastating case made all the more alarming because the husband was a cop. He's confessed to the murder, and his wife, Diana Raz, had apparently advised thousands of women on leaving abusive relationships. Now, obviously, the investigation is still ongoing, but given your experience in this field, share for us your insights in a domestic situation like this.
I think that this is a very important case to look at. It's really horrific and, like you said, and sad, and really there's no words to express the sadness and the feelings around it. Yes, but it's also at the same time, it's a very, very good case to highlight the danger and the insidious situation of domestic abuse. Because often people imagine, I speak on this topic quite a lot, and sometimes I get really strong backlash on this as well. And it's not surprising because it touches obviously very painful histories for many people, including women. And that sometimes also I get the backlash from. And again, it's not shocking. There's a reason for it. But I'm going to put that aside for now. But often people assume that, someone that's in an abusive situation, they are like tied to the bed and never come out and with like black and blue marks all the time. Sometimes that also, of course, happens, unfortunately, but most of the time that's not the case. And often people from the outside also don't see the signs, meaning that you can see the family, again, for which there is an abuse, that you can see them at birthdays, you can see them at parties, you can see the woman being a professor at the university. It doesn't matter. And it also has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with emotional trap. That's all that is. And often it is very, 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 again, insidious and really difficult to get out from.
In this particular case, Amir Raz said he was arguing with his wife when he pulled out a gun and fired bullets at her. He says he never planned this, and the children were at home at the time. Now, one cannot imagine the trauma for these 4 young children and other children in similar cases. Talk to us about the impact on young relatives in a case like this.
So again, in this situation and many others also, right, what is going to happen right now? Right now, the mother isn't there anymore. Yes, the father most likely will be in jail. So the children will be left either towards the governmental systems to be taken care of, either in foster care or in some other kind of arrangements, maybe with relatives. So we don't know. There is not going to be obviously much stability unless by some miracle something maybe can be arranged with someone close in the family that they can take care of them. And of course, they will need a lot of therapy, and hopefully they will get it. Often they do not get it because sometimes it's expensive or it takes time or many other reasons for why that doesn't happen. The trauma, of course, is going to be very deep. It's already right now deep. Some of it is not yet processed. It will be processed later. And also the dangers are, again, if there isn't going to be the therapy, is that children by themselves will start kind of going down the hill, which we hope will not happen, and having difficulty in trust, having difficulty in building their own relationships, maybe PTSD, you name it.
Now, as you say, of course, this is a very painful situation for so many people. What advice do you have for people in abusive relationships? It's been such a difficult year for so many globally, unimaginable pressures and stresses for so many families. What message do you want to share for people who feel that they might be in some kind of danger from their partners or relatives inside their own homes?
The message that I would like to put out there is not just for those families or the people that are living with this, but for all of us. as a community, everyone. Because even with this situation, unfortunately, there was also, again, a lot of criticism and backlash, like, how is it possible she was working with, with abusive relationships? How is it possible this happened to her? That's exactly the point, like, you're missing it. The point is that it is very easy to get trapped into a situation like that, and then once you're in it, it's very difficult to get out. Doesn't matter who you are. So that's one. Why is this important? Because don't judge. Don't judge, be open, try to be helpful. Don't think that you're, above something and it can never happen to you, because unfortunately those are people to whom it could happen even more, okay? Be aware and have some humility and humbleness towards the whole picture, and understand that a lot of things you maybe aren't yet educated on, and do reach out to people. Be open. Again, don't be judgmental. Why am I saying this? Because it's very difficult and embarrassing often to people that are in this situation to reach out to anybody and to say what's happening with them at home. Yeah. Also, often they're just scared, or don't know how they're going to survive financially, or what are they going to do with the children, or who's going to support them. Often people also, even their family members, will tell them, just deal, figure it out. But sometimes you can't figure it out. Sometimes there isn't any home really to go to. It's just an abusive, very dangerous situation. So be there, be helpful. And if you are in that situation, do reach out. You can reach out anonymously. You can reach out through other people. You can go to psychologists, therapists, social workers. You can go to your own local government agencies, and you can arrange this to at least find out what your options are, because there are options. Find out.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your insights on this very painful and difficult topic for so many people. Dr. Kamila Forkosh Lavan speaking to us from Jerusalem. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.